Alright peeps, welcome back to one version. We've got a bad tide inbound, and in order to even remotely survive said bad tide, we need this old new fully rebuilt for the second time bad water system to be plopped in. Now are our beavers up to the task? Why aye they can, with 3 hours to spare. And hopefully this is fully working, because we've never actually tested it yet. All I've done is make sure that these are always closed, full levy with a fancy bit of metal on the front, and these laddies should close the second there's any contamination, as well as these laddies getting up in the sky, which should allow our beavers to continue to... No, it won't! It will not allow it for our beavers to continue to work down here. We are going to have to, real casually, pause every single building that is in range here. And I reckon if we switch this path around, as in, different the beavers gone past here and still be bloody connected, we should have a nice safe range for our beavers during this bad tide. Why aye, the beavers can't even get down there properly. Or at least, not to anything that's not paused. But we can still access the bridge, plonk some dirt in, and get the hour hangs banged in. And here we are, peeps. It's about to be the initial test of our bad water. Why is that not shut? It is shut. It's going to stop pushing bad water out. That's alright. Oh, we need to get this up to unlimited. Until we get some bad water about to go through there, then it gets up to 0. And this is precisely how it used to walk. Yeah, dry up. No more overspilling. Oh, we are properly on the limit here. Look at that. It just wants to start pushing our. And that's because we've narrowed it down. We've increased its flow ever so slightly. And it is properly contemplating destroying the entire settlement here. Well, let's hope we can hold out for another 18 days. And in the meantime, let's get to building this big bad water aqueduct, shall we? And I'd say first of all, I'm gonna get straight on the excavator bypass here. Now one change I have made off camera, well a few changes. I made all of these levees line up so that's just me and my OCD. But on these corners here, I also popped in a little bit of dam action to soften out these 90 degrees. Particularly around said bypass, where we're gonna end up cannon doing a 1. And I want all the help we can get, not our spilling. But we're probably going to overspill, and in that case, thanks to a wonderful old comment, I'm going to pop platforms, impermeable roofs, and pop a nice little hat on the bad water aqueduct. Now we are in a bit of a predicament, where we had basically no water, or at least not very much of it, so I've manually paused this laddie. We don't really need them until the river runs dry anywho. And all of these are staying unpaused until we're full as a gun. Which now I think about it, I should probably get a resource counter counting water and saying if we're below 95% storage, then we get some fancy automation for, let's say, all but 3 of these. Only issue being, because it's not built yet, it's off and it's paused to bloomin' sloppers. Saying our beavers, don't worry so much about getting this in right now. I've got one wee thing for you to defrost. I'm a tad perturbed here, peeps. Our beaver builders seem to not be going anywhere near this, even though they've got gears, they've got planks, they even have metal parts. Oh, now, once I'm whinging about it, yous come over. It's been 2 days, peeps. 2 days. There was a failed speedy up it and everything. But anywho, now we finally have all of these running and half automated. We have our 10 haulers knocking about, so they'll be moving the water from A to B, getting all of these wee tanks topped up around the map, including by our industrial estate here. An industrial estate that we can unpause part of now that we've got our food growing back going. Let's get the fermenters and the oil press back up and running. And let's get this bit of the bloody bad water aqueduct dirt excavator bypass section built. But before we do that, I want to ensure we don't end up running out of metal. So let's go ahead, delete this medium warehouse, this small industrial pile and this small tank. Hopefully we beavers get to picking that up, because we've got a big smelter to be popping and filling this space with. Maximum priority on that, beavers, and I can only hope that you actually get it built, because, well, this is maximum priority as well. Oh, and one very important thing before we get cracking along with this speedy up bit. We need to zoom right in on this bit mine here. Nah, I'm joking, we'll zoom out, otherwise it'll get bloody blindy when I go into metal here and spend 4,000 science points on an efficient mine. That is also a maximum priority job for your beavers, once again, so we don't run out of metal. But enough messing about, let's dive straight into this big old speedy up bit that will likely last the rest of this bartide. It's not like I'm just asking the beavers to casually build a hoosing estate, they'll do that all day and night. This is a brand new build for them. They're using a mixture of dort, piers, metal, planks, and the odd straight up log in the dam. Oh, and I hope you're as keen as I am for this, like peeps. I'll say now that we are going to have this barred water aqueduct in this week. Ideally this episode, but I don't really want 40 minutes of pure speedy up it, you know? Like I say, I'm super excited to get this up and running, but I'm also dreading it because I am going to have to create a full, and I mean from source to bloody edge of map, automated river system. Everything is going to have to be perfectly calculated. And yeah, I am kind of looking forward to that, not gonna lie. But it's gotta be quite the bloody task. Oh, I'm over here bloody unpausing things and we've got a bad tide ended coming up. That's right. This happened at the end of episode speedy up at last time. What I started pushing doing here, and I had to turn this up to unlimited, because we do not have our bloody dam up and running. Therefore, the poor beavers that live in this house get flooded out. Oh, it's no good if you're living there, like. And I didn't realise I was trapped here. Oh, I'm not. I can get doing like nobody's business. And look at that. What a level rise onward. That's because these laddies have just opened. Oh, this is a fantastic little area, like. And we made, you know, fair dinkum progress on the Bardwater Aqueduct. Let's have ourselves a hippity-hop adventure up here. We've got some beavers delivering off some metal blocks. But we have got this, this whole section here that I conked me heat on. And I noticed as well, we started making progress over here. We got the scaffolding in. Oh, go on, beaver! Bang that laddie in! Oh, no. It's alright if you get nervous. And we only went and drained our blooming pool again, like. We most certainly need to get some of this up and running, which does remind me. There's one crucial upgrade that needs to be made here. The lowest point is here. So currently, any water that hits this level just sits here and evaporates, because our lowest valves over here level up. So what I'm going to do is blast a passage all the way down, right to where this fancy pants spiral stair is, because from here, I can just tunnel all the way out to underneath the existing valves here. So when we blow this laddie up, I'm going to get one throttling valve down, and that's going to be our lower level release there. Only used during bad tides and droughts. Oh, I forgot I automated the bloody builder's huts. That's why I was confused during the beginning of the episode speedy up bit. You would have seen this flash up and me like pause it and then be like, oh, what? I thought I unpaused it. Why is it paused and not unpaused? I didn't realise it was bloody automated paused. What a dude. Anywho, speaking of dude manoeuvres, we have zero scrap! Zero scrap and zero metal, of course! Beavers! I don't know where they can. So let's double the amount of scrappers from 1 to 2. And how are we doing our here, beavers? I did maximum prioritise this. Ideally so we could get metal blocks in before we ran out. Because I plopped in some more scavenger flags by this metal. And a big shade chalk horror. We got absolutely nothing done. It wasn't even a maximum priority construction site. I always get those two mixed up. Well, neither wonder. Since we've got a wonderful temperate season cracking along, let's come back to the beginning of the Bardwater Aqueduct, reconnect the paths in, and get our beavers banging in all of this dangerous shite while it's not dangerous. Now that does mean reducing all of these priorities down to high. Don't worry peeps, we'll get back to this side of the wonderful Bardwater Aqueduct. It's actually starting to take shape. This is going to be wonderful, this like. Well, after it inevitably spills everywhere, and we fix it, then it'll be wonderful. But for new beavers, why don't you just get your asses up at the sources and bang in some tunnels, some hour hangs, some throttling valves, and maybe even a couple of levies. Although I am going to call home back out of it because we've got another bad tide inbound. And how many of these tunnels did we get in? Absolutely zero. Now, we did have a bit of a bad water shortage, so I unpaused them, so we should be getting our explosives in. Is that a beaver gone doing to blow up the very thing? Because if so, nah, he's gone up. Oh, here we go, this might be the beaver coming to blow up the very thing. Because if so, I want to be right here with you. Oh, tag teaming, banging down the hole. Oh, the water's flowing everywhere here. And immediately, beavers, I want you to get your big plank back off of that and plonk in a real casual levy, please. Oh, and look at this. We're all the way up to 1 metal block. That must mean this still isn't in. I mean, it doesn't help that I keep making maximum priority jobs just all the time, so they never actually get round to it. But our beavers are doing a fair dinkum job at getting all of this in. Look, they've even got some scaffolding in. They've got some of the scaffolding in for one of the throttling valves here. This should be oh, that reminds us! I got a mad little comment about popping some throttling valves in here where it all connects in, just to ensure that we don't have any bad water flowing back towards our sources. And the flow limit on these will always be unlimited. It'll just be whooshing on through, because, well, we don't want bad water backing up here and getting on our precious protected thorns. And you know what, beavers? Fair effort for this bit of temperate season, but we really need to go ahead and get this blooming smelter in once and for all. I mean, I'm not going to stop you coming down here and picking up your plank, providing you do it in the next day and a half. So away then, beavers, get the smelter planked in before the bad tide begins. Well, that's mildly unfortunate. Did you do... How did you do anything? Oh, I paused the game so I could not get bad water in here. Right, we're sacrificing it. This bit of water up here is just going to evaporate and be wasted because it's got dirty little bad particles in it. You see them swirling around there? Your beavers didn't want anything to do with that. Case in point! We're injured, beaver! How did you get a well? Where'd the bad water come from? Do you want to know the answer to that question, peeps? The answer is from down here when I've been telling the beavers to bloody be! Get back in! Oh, now we got 2 unwell beavers, let me guess. Ekru, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get a bloody decontamination pod straight up for ye. And since these are never full anyway, this is where you're ganning, pal. Decontamination pod, maximum priority, along with this bit smelter. The beavers didn't even get any metal blocks in here. I actually have no idea what the beavers are doing. Once again, MiGly, the beavers were over here doing what you told them to do. And what you should get paused to stop them coming out and continuing to do, like is currently occurring. And Bonjin, ye are not currently contaminated, so please, chuck a yui! I said chuck a yui! Bonjin, chuck a yui, yes, thank you, chuck a yui, pick up that plank, or not, and just get back to doing something useful. And ideally, get this blooming smelter and decontamination pod in. Because that is what we really need to be cracking along with here. Alright, beavers, what are you actually doing with your lives? Oh, you are waiting on some more scrap metal. Sorry! And finally, we've got our smelter up and running. Well, up, not quite running. We need some more scrap metal. Please tell me we still have some over here. Yeah, we do. You know what? I'm just unpausing them bloody all. I'm getting crazy with this. I'm absolutely done waiting on metal. And with both of our smelters running here, just don't mind that Shakas isn't even at graft yet. They're still making their way through the natural pine forest. But as I was saying, with both of these laddies running here, we are going to have this decontamination pod up in no time. Alright, beavers, it's been 4 days. This has always been reduced. I've just made sure that every single one of these bad lads is reduced. There's 2 metal blocks. Can you please get them in this blooming decontamination pod? Because otherwise, I have no idea where they're going. Where did the 2 metal blocks go? Where did they go? Nothing else is maximum priority, peeps. Like, nothing else that's accessible is maximum bloody priority. And look, just so you know, these laddies here can't be accessed. Have a look at that. Too far from district. It's too far up a height. And these laddies aren't even built yet. So they're fine being maximum priority, including these ones, because these aren't built. So, yeah, nah, we really should not be doing anything with our metal blocks other than plopping it in here. Let's hang a boot until we get enough scrap metal to make a metal block, and then I'm gonna just watch it. There it is, right, metal blocks in here. Now we need to keep a proper eye out for a beaver coming in and picking up that metal block. Right, the went out. Where did it go? It went in here. Beavers! These are absolute pest takers. That's all I'm saying. Absolute pest takers. And with that bad lad finally in, it's time, now that we're halfway through the bloody bad tide, to raise all of this back up to maximum priority and hopefully finish building it. Honestly, peeps, that was bloody excruciating. And since we're already halfway through, let's whip out a fancy fade. And here we are again. I'm not gonna lie to you, peeps, that fancy fade was a failed speedy up because the beavers got next to now done. Although it is nice to see that we're running low on logs and planks. That means that the builders were actually bloody doing something during that bad tide. Well, for now, our builders need to get back down here and pick up some bloody planks. But for now, I'm just happy that I remember to open this floodgate before it spilled over, but I didn't remember to open the other floodgate, did I? And by floodgate, I of course mean a fancy throttling valve or beavers. Oh, beavers! You really need to get this throttling valve in, like 5 metal blocks need to go in there ASAP. So once again, we don't have any metal blocks that can actually be built that are maximum priority. All of these platforms are back down to high priority, apart from one cheeky beggar there, you get down to high priority. So we should have 5 metal blocks getting plugged into here immediately. And after yet another failed speedy up bit, I find myself here waiting for a beaver to do something with a metal block. You work at the smelter, so surely you are doing nothing but putting it in storage. Because you should be at the smelter smelting! Oh my beaver, you are going on an absolute mission here with your 1 metal block. David, tell us, why? Why are you doing that? You have enough logs, you have enough scrap metal to make another metal block. You even, believe it or not, have enough effing storage to store up more metal blocks. Yet, you felt it necessary to waste probably half a day putting it in this 1 effing block. Yeah, you know what? Nah. Not happening. That is no longer a bloody storage. That's getting deleted. These beavers are driving me up the bloody wall today, like. And it's all about these metal blocks. Can I please have a beaver come along after he's kipped, of course. Go to kip first. And show me precisely what the blooming heck is are doing with these metal blocks. It's a new day. I'm waiting for a beaver to come over, pick up this metal block, and see where they end up banging it in. Why are you going over here, beaver? Why are you going over here? This is not where you need to be going. What are you banging in, you absolute lunatic? Right, yeah, they're gonna stop. They're gonna stop banging soon. There's big metal block bloody brick here. Is this already in? If this is already in, I swear doing that. Of course it's not. It hasn't been touched. Right, let's see if we can figure this out. All of this, high priority. Somehow, this is available to be banged in. Oh, it's even worse. It's even worse than that, peeps. It's even bloody worse. There's impermeable floors underneath the levees. Oh, no. Absolutely not necessary. And it's not on the outside, just on the inside. Levees back on there. High priority on all of these metal blocks. Even though you shouldn't be... by the way, peeps, the reason I'm leaving these is maximum priority. Is if I go, say... Oh, I don't want to do any of that. It doesn't actually affect these. If you want to change the priority of these, you have to click these and then start changing them. Doesn't matter what you do around them. So it's quite annoying when you reduce the priority of these metal blocks to increase them again. So now that's why they were staying as maximum priority. But at this point, the beavers are having my absolute life. And the only way to get it back is to watch the beavers bang in this bloody, there we go, finally! I couldn't care less about the drought. I just could not care less. Because I am over the bloody moon that we finally have this bloody gate. It's been 2 cycles. It's been 2 cycles, peeps. I've been trying to get this 1 throttling valve in. Ooh, now we can breathe calm down a little bit, just a little bit. Maybe watch some beavers banging a levy or two, because it's nice and relaxing by the lovely clean water, you know. It can't be getting stressed down here. It's blissful. And no, I'm definitely not getting frustrated that no beaver's been up here to build this at all. Even though it's 12 out of 12 maximum priority. Definitely there's zero frustration here, peeps. Not a whiff of frustration. Pure patience. That's all that's occurring from up here. Right, now let's get this bad lad down to say 0.10, which is really 0.40 because he's all up. Which means this bad lad needs to go up to let's say 3.8 for now. Let it fill up ever so slowly. Look at that. It's properly filling up slowly, but I need it to fill up quicker because we've got a bit of a drought inbound. So let's get this up to 0.40 and then we should have a perfect level where it all just occurs. And I was hoping to be able to blow some blooming water all the way down here. And guess what? We bloody can! Oh, I forgot! Try to keep the camera still. And then it looks good, and we got the water flying down. I think the lag in the first person view while the explosives going on was a lot better than it was previously. And look at the water flying down. Well worth a mild speedy up it. Although now that the water is flowing over here, I'm not entirely sure why I did that. Because this is already full to the brim after a bit of a temperate season. It doesn't need any more water flowing into it. At least not now. Go on, beavers. Stable footing. But that's how our hill removal works. Instead of having a little bit of caught water here, it spills all the way down and eventually out of these valves. Oh, 23.8 day drought. That is less than ideal. Hey, beavers. Any particular reason that you are wholly unable to get the extract from here to here? Because I've had one contaminated beaver for quite some time and I don't think they've ever seen a bit of bloody extract in their entire existence. Ooh, free log. I'll certainly pick that up. But now that we've got our levees in here, what we definitely do, don't we? Yes. We can start very carefully because beavers can't get over these. Getting our not impermeable floor, MiGly. Getting our irrigation barriers up and bloody running. So I'm going to pause these two for now. That way our beavers can still get into the corner block there while they build all the way down the side. And what will happen is we will have a nice sealed contamination chamber here that won't allow any contamination to escape thanks to the levees and irrigation barriers here. Well, that and the fact that we're going to be popping bloody platforms with impermeable floors down. And I was just thinking, we need to do something special here. And I reckon that something special is real simply going to be a double platform. And instead of impermeable floors on this particular row, we're going to plonk some levees in. So we'll have an impermeable floor there, so the good water that flows through these throttling valves doesn't fall down into the contamination pit. And then the good water falls down onto this impermeable floor here and allows irrigation to spread through the rocks and feed our precious protected thorns here. Get on, beaver, turn that levee from grey to bloody brown. But as per usual, that is not our priority. Our priority is up our here. All of this, including these bloody impermeable floors, need to get plonked in as soon as beaverly possible. And I was wondering what that rubble was. It's 2 metal blocks. So why don't we assign some bloody storage to it? Which means we should have 2 metal blocks being dropped off in here. There's the 2 metal blocks. Let's make sure we're not storing any more metal blocks. Otherwise our smelters, once they've made one singular metal block, they're going to go all the way across the map to drop it off, even though they'll have plenty of scrap metal. I mean, they don't at the moment, but they will once I get these bad lads up and running. Oh, look at that! We got Happy Beaver getting recovered in the decontamination pod. Now, I have just discovered that our beavers are busily banging away on what's going on inside this cave, but that is fine with me. And what are you lucky here, peeps? We have the last couple of bits of scrap metal getting scrapped away. Before too long, we will be dropped on the deck. Well, I say before too long. Beaver's got to clock off and get to bed first. Oh no, where were you off? I thought it was bedtime. But we are probably just gone for a bit of a slurp, weren't you? I think this is it, peeps. I think we're about to get dropped on the deck. It's got to be this one then. It has to be this one. Hi. And now when you're ready to sit on your arse and dine out, don't worry, pal, I've got another job for you. Just over there. And those bonus jobs should be right here. But they're not, for reasons. Oh, but something I noticed earlier on is we've got water falling all the way down here, which means we've got a bad water dome. Read on there, discharge in the bad water. And I'm thinking, since we've got full dirt storage, I might go ahead and maximum prioritise all of this stuff here. Get some proper dirty jobs on the gun for our beavers. You know, specifically any dirt for this bad water aqueduct is getting maximum priorities. And it should all be within range as well. Ooh, and it's that time, peeps. We get to remove the old guiding path. These plants do not need guided any longer. They can grow wild and butt up against each other. I've been keen to remove that path for bloody yonks. Oh, we got the whole hand brigade on the crack. Look at how the whole has knocking about taking the food from here to there. And with pretty much the entire drought still remaining, we are about to run out of water in this wee reservoir here. There's not even enough water to go out of here. Look, it's opening, but there's no to come out. So let's get ourselves a fancy 2.5D angle to watch the beavers banging loads of dirt. And ideally, a decent bit of this bloody bad water aqueduct. They've got 20 odd days to do it, so there's a good chance they will get it in. And realistically, our biggest bottleneck is probably scrap metal. But I did faff about and managed to get those scrappers on the other side of the map built. So we should at least be making a half decent use of both of those smelters. And honestly, peeps, I can't believe that the beavers just had my life so heavily this episode. Like, I guess that's just payback for all the times when I've flooded their districts or starved them all. I mean, we haven't done that in a while. The latter, the former, was still doing pretty consistently. But hopefully the beavers reckon they've got their own back now and we can get back to being peaceful Cupcake and beaver brethren. And if not, I reckon I'll be winning them over with this bad water aqueduct. And this also doubles up as a bit of a cliffhanger for the end of the episode. Can our beavers survive a big old 20-odd day drought with the current setup? It'll be a bloody tricky one, I'll tell you that for now. But we're both gonna have to find out in the next episode. But until that next episode rolls round, have yourselves a canny old time and a toodle.